Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about money and why it doesn't matter to me anymore, and I think you guys should consider, not caring about it either. So this is obviously my first go at an IRL video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video and you want to see less of it, give it a thumbs down, and I will do less or none of these kind of videos moving forward. So obviously money, it is the biggest topic pretty much in the world. Everyone needs to engage in this IRL system, whether you like it or not. When you get to a certain age, you're out on your own and it's all about the money. And why is it that I don't care about it? So first up, obviously we need to talk about financial freedom and obviously, commitments to, living expenses and all sorts of stuff like that. So when you obviously move out and you get a job and you've got like your own place, you've got your own bills, you need a certain amount of money to survive. And it has always been my goal to try and find a way to passively accumulate that money so that I could eventually reach the promised land, which is called financial freedom. It's a big thing right now, especially, in the current generation, which I'm part of. People are kind of discovering that, they don't want to work 9 to 5. They don't want to do this, that, and the other. They kind of just want to accumulate enough wealth to maintain the status quo and do whatever they want, whether that be, gardening or traveling or whatever they want to do. And I think that's a pretty good way to live in general. So there is going to be a certain amount of money. And in general, when people say money doesn't make you happier and all sorts of stuff like that, well, that is actually in fact false up until a certain point. And if you can get enough money to reach the status quo and a little bit more for, hobbies and stuff like that, that is when you've got, in my opinion, enough money, and you should stop prioritizing it as a part of your life. Overall, I think when you get past that point and you start, getting into, 100% more money than you need, 200% more money than you need, adding more and more and more on top of that is not going to do anything in terms of improving your happiness. Let's say that I went out and bought a Lamborghini. I think it's a pretty cool car. I'd be super excited to buy a Lamborghini. But what about after that? Is that going to make me more happy every day, waking up knowing that I have a Lamborghini? The only scenario I could think of that would make me happier is showing it off to my friends. Or, when, some kid walks past and he's like, oh, damn, that car is badass. You must be really cool. And, I actually don't think that these two things are very, very healthy, and it creates an unhealthy relationship with money. Because you then kind of go in this infinite loop of trying to impress people. And overall, in my opinion, impressing people is not the right way to go about life. You should live life for yourself. You shouldn't try and live life, through, the opinions of others of you. And, for the most part, I don't really care what anyone thinks of me. And, that is that I enjoy living that way. So overall, I think that, there's nothing you can buy with money outside of some aspirational goal, which you really, really like, which, you need the money for. So Jeff Bezos, I don't think he needs all that money, man. For himself at least, like, what is he going to do with it? He's going to buy another jet, another boat. That's not going to make him any happier, is it? So, overall, I think money after you reach the status quo is not that important. All right. So the next point I wanted to talk about is obviously financial freedom and passive income. So this overall is the concept of accumulating enough wealth in investments or businesses or automated currency income to essentially wake up in the morning whenever you want and do whatever you want. You're basically free from social obligations and you don't have to do anything in life. This is the point where I think that, obviously you don't care about money anymore. And that's, in my opinion, the ultimate goal of myself. And I think there should be an ultimate goal of a lot of people. Because when you get to that point, you are literally free to do whatever you want. You can literally become a professional artist. You can become a gardener. You can be a chef. You can do whatever you want. And a lot of the friction in your life will immediately evaporate. Because the second you don't feel like doing something anymore, you stop. A lot of the time with your careers and stuff like that, society has trained you to push through stuff. They've told you that working 8 hours a day is normal. I personally, I don't like working 8 hours a day, man. I want to take some breaks. I want to just hang out. I want to, go get some food, all sorts of stuff like that. And being able to do that is going to improve, in my opinion, your happiness and your lifestyle overall. And at the end of the day, that's all I really personally care about. All I care about is happiness, of both myself and those around me. That is all that matters in life, because at the end of the day, no one's getting out of here alive. We're all heading for the same point, at least in today's day and age. Of course, that may change in the future with new technologies coming out, but I'm not sure that that's going to impact my generation or your generation watching too much, as those are fairly ambitious technological goals to be able to live for an extended period of time of hundreds of years and stuff like that. So overall, everyone, whether that's Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Richard Branson, we're all heading for the same point, man, and that is, the end game, the end of the road, dude, the great equalizer, as you would call it. So at the end of the day, all that matters is that your journey from point A to point B, start and finish, is as enjoyable as possible. It's all about happiness, making sure that you're as stress-free as possible, and that you're having the best time possible. Obviously, there is some ability to do that more with money, but I think at the end of the day, you need to find out what you find is fulfilling. Now, the point that I want to make here, and the overall kind of conclusion here of this video, is going to be the point at which the glass shattered for me. So I've been working, for about almost coming up on 2 years now. I went to uni, and I had decided that I was going to start the investment kind of plan of going for financial freedom. I was going to, stack up 1 or 2 mil in dollars and invest it into stocks, bonds, equities, property, and all sorts of stuff like that, with a diverse portfolio and all sorts of stuff like that. I was going to go down that path. I was getting ready to grind for 10 or 15 years. I'd be like 40, but it'd be worth it. I would be financially free. It was all going to be worth it. It may well have been. But I realized, I was like, what would I do right now, right this second, if I had, $20 million? What would I be doing? Well, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. In my spare time, I would be playing video games, and I'd be making YouTube videos. I'd be streaming on Twitch. And in general, I'd just be hanging out. I wouldn't be, buying Lamborghinis. I don't want a Lamborghini. It'd be cool, but I have no use for that. I don't think anyone has any use for that. Like, why do you need that car? I might like a house, but I don't need a house. I got a roof, I got a bed, it's all good, man. Like, I don't actually need that. At the end of the day, it might make me a little bit more happy, but it's not going to massively change my life. But I can tell you one thing right now. There is a massive amount of things which make me unhappy about my situation right now. I know what I want to do, but I also have, driving to work, man. It bugs me. I hate that. You spend, 2 hours a day, 2 hours times 5, that's 10 hours, times 52, that's 520 hours, man. Like, my goodness, that's a lot of your life. And then, you've got all sorts of things. You have to get up in the morning. I don't know if you guys know about circadian rhythm and all that stuff like that. But man, dude, I'm not built to get up at, 7:30 in the morning. I'm just not. I don't like it. And, you get home, there's all sorts of issues with no time and all sorts of stuff like that. And basically, anyway, the glass shattered for me. I realized what I wanted to do if I had all this money, and what I was grinding for was to essentially do what I'm doing right now. And it didn't really make much sense. So right now, my expenses are about $1,500 a month, give or take. Obviously, it goes up and down, based on car registration and stuff like that being due. But right now, streaming and all sorts of stuff like that pretty much more than covers it. So at that point, I realized that no amount of money was going to, make me happier or more unhappy or happy, because, I had everything I wanted right now. All I had to do was take it. But, at the end of the day, whether or not I make that decision or not is still up in the air. But right now, I think that everyone needs to ask themselves the question, and that's why I'm making this video. If you had $10 million right now, or make it any amount of money, $100 million, $1 billion, what would you be doing with yourself? What is your purpose in life? What do you actually want to do? You want to be a professional tennis player? Do you want to, help animals? All sorts of stuff like that. And what I would encourage everyone to do is try and figure out if you can make that viable to, fulfill your needs. Because if that is truly what you want to do at the end of the day, and that is what's fulfilling for you, and if you had all this money, you're spending all this time building up to that, or all sorts of stuff like that, grinding at the grindstone for many, many years, maybe just try and figure out if you can do it now. Wouldn't that be good? You could spend all your time doing that instead of, grinding away at something that you're not too passionate about. I think that is the overall message, and that's why money doesn't really matter to me anymore, because, I kind of realized that, it's not going to make me any happier. the freedom that I'm chasing right now might actually just be possible by default. You know, I could get millions and millions of dollars in freedom right now if I just had the balls to go for it. Obviously, overall, these are not things that are easy to do. To actually turn something you enjoy doing into a sustainable lifestyle is not easy. Obviously, you can supplement that though with investments and all sorts of stuff like that if you're intelligent about it. But overall, you know, that's my take on money right now. That's why it's not really too important to me anymore, because, you know, it's not going to make me any happier, and why I don't think it should be too important to you after you get past that status quo of having enough to, you know, sustainably live, and then eventually sustainably live without having to worry about getting up for work in the morning and stuff like that. So with all that said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, if you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't like the video, don't want to see this anymore, thumbs down. Obviously, this is a PoE channel. If you only want to see PoE, let me know with that thumbs down button. So until next time, cheers.